So I'm really glad to present to you Dr. Robert Sullivan, who's responsible for our clinic research in our biochemical low-level lasers from Erconia. So please, Dr. Sullivan.
I think you can see running up here, just as the Americans would say, an infomercial. This is just basically a sample of what we do with lasers. Our lasers, we like to think, as everybody does, are a little different to what's out there. Every laser I'm going to talk about, every process I'm going to show you, has been approved by the FDA in the States and is considerably backed up by research. Lasers, as you probably know, have been around since the 1940s, very much used in animal research. They jumped from one species to another in the 1980s. So a brief little bit about the science of laser. Laser is different to LED. LED is basically light. It has a frequency. It has a modulation, but it has a variable wave pattern. In order for something to be technically called a laser, it has to be columnated. It has to be monochromatic. It has to be from a single spectrum, and each particle of light needs to be in phase with the particle before. The way laser works is laser penetrates skin and gets into cells. Lots of people think, well, how far does the laser go? To be honest, how far the laser goes is totally irrelevant. What we really need the laser to do is it needs to contact the mitochondria. And once it contacts that first mitochondria, within there, you're going to find the cytochrome C ribbon, which is a water-soluble protein with a photoreceptor on it. Once the laser targets that, you get a three-dimensional cellular response. So this cytochrome C ribbon, which is water-soluble, starts to break down. When this light targets this ribbon, ADP changes to ATP. And when that happens, the cells get excited. So this particular mitochondria is now excited with energy, passes to the next one, the next one, the next one, behind and top. So we get a three-dimensional cascade going through the system. So really the laser doesn't do anything. The laser basically triggers this chemical, this photochemical response. And it's that response that changes things. So in a minute, instead of doing all science and other things, we're going to get some volunteers and we're going to have some fun. Because with lasers, you can take somebody who has a pain and you can change that pain, get rid of that pain, or considerably lessen that pain in less than 3 minutes because of the effects of the light and the chemical cascade. Other things that we can do that we've been experimenting with, we've experimented with Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, ADD, and we found remarkable changes in simply one session, purely because, again, the chemical cascade and what's happening. I think the real thing about lasers is we don't know what they are going to do in the future. We know what they're doing now. And I think from a science point of view, it's going to be very interesting in 10 years' time to see where lasers have gone. 5 years ago, I had a patient with a problem. I reached for a pen, I wrote a prescription, I gave them a chemical. If that didn't work, I reached for a scalpel, I made an incision, and I changed something. Now, I reach for a laser. The drug companies really don't like us using lasers. So we'll produce a paper, or another company or some researchers will produce a paper about lasers. Drug companies will counterclaim that. We're not interested in that. Once we have people like you and me looking at lasers, we have the ability to change the future. What I want to try and do today is see if we can find something else that lasers might do. We did an experiment in Monaco with Sana there a couple of weeks back. And what I said was, is there anything you're doing or anything bothering you that you'd like not to bother you? So she said yes. didn't want to know what it was. So we started using the laser, told her to focus on it and think about it. And I think if you ask her now how she is in relation to that particular episode, how are you now? So really good. So what I'm going to do is, can we just get two people that either have pain or something that they want to change? The young lady down here, gentleman back there. Come on then. Don't you love American commercials? They're really good, aren't they? The worst thing that ever happened to me in terms of America was 6 years ago. I was dean of one of the medical institutes for the UK and Ireland. And this American guy came to me and asked me, would I look at his product? His research was crap. His p-values were terrible. He didn't know one end of what he was talking about from another. And he said, would I validate his product? And I said, no. A couple of weeks later, a big box arrived to my clinic in Ireland, and it says, Dear Dr. Sullivan, we have decided to put our money where your mouth is. So I systematically, with 5 PhD students, decided we would deconstruct these lasers and once and for all prove that it's bollocks. They don't work. They do nothing. And now I'm ending up standing here in front of you. The most embarrassing bit for me was I had to go to an American and say, I was wrong. But then again, these guys stick these lasers on their heads for 15 minutes at a time. In my view, that's way too long. But then again, they have Trump. How are you?
I'm okay. I always kind of have a bit of stomach ache. So.
And the stomach ache starts in the morning or in the day?
Usually always a bit. Usually gets worse when I eat carbohydrates. I don't know why.
Okay. Can I ask you some personal questions?
Sure.
Do you get diarrhea, constipation?
No.
No. So it's just purely stomach pain?
Yeah.
No headaches from it?
I don't know if I get headaches, honestly. I don't really know how that feels, and I get confused.
Okay.
People ask me exactly if I do. I think I have head aches, but I'm not sure.
Okay. So general confusion.
We work with that.
We can work with
Yeah,
that.
we work with that.
So Sana is going to go work with, what's your name?
Vincent Lidhammer Söderberg.
Okay.
We'll stick to Vincent. I would need a laser to remember the rest. So Sana is going to work with you, okay, for a couple of minutes. And I'm going to go and find another victim over here. And you are?
Pasha.
And what's the matter?
Headaches. I had a concussion a while back,
You had a concussion.
and I've
Okay.
had headaches since.
Okay. Any particular side or generally?
No.
Any lower back pain?
No.
No finger tingling?
No fingertips.
And you're not taking any medicines for it at the moment?
No.
Okay. Right. Let's see. And at the moment, you still have this pain? Okay.
So can I just ask here, do you have pain now in your stomach?
Yes.
Yes.
It's not really severe or moderate. It's like
Minor. So on a scale 1 to 10, 10 is worst.
10 is like I can't take this anymore. Like 0 is like not at all. I think about 3.
3. Yeah. Perfect. Then we know.
Could you start counting for me? Out loud.
You want to hold that one for me? Perfect.
Faster. Louder. Tell us your date of birth.
The meanwhile, I doing this for you, I want you to breathe.
Very good.
The short one
Do
in
you have a dog?
and a longer, and
What's,
a longer
what's the
one
dog's
out.
name?
3
What is
others.
it? No, your poor dog.
Perfect.
And there was a reason to inflict the dog with this particular type of name.
He's black.
I have nothing to say. How's your head at the moment?
Perfect.
Okay. Is it starting to clear now? Okay, feels tingly.
And just relax with your breathing.
Has your dog's color changed yet?
He's a unicorn.
He's a unicorn. Sana, is their hair supposed to go frizzy like this?
No, I don't know actually. It looks strange
It's going blue at
from
the
here.
ends.
Yeah.
Okay, would you just move your head from side to side for me?
I want you, Vincent, to count down from 100,
And tell me the
And
first thing
three-
that comes into your head.
and you just skip 3.
Green.
So you
How
do
does your head feel now?
100, 97, 94, and on.
As fuzzy? Less fuzzy.
And in Swedish, can you do that 2 sides? Okay.
So there is an improvement. No, less fuzzy with no improvement. Oh, the headache still, that's okay. That's all right. Has it gone to any side or is it still general? Okay, still left. Does this increase the pressure? Does it decrease the pressure? Does this increase the pressure?
Have you stopped counting?
The tingling has moved.
88. Perfect.
Has it got less yet?
So, how about your gut? How does it feel?
No?
It's about the same.
It's about the same.
No?
Yeah.
I think it's about the same.
A little bit less. Still confused. Yeah, a little.
So just move your head to the right for me, nice and slow. as far as you
Oh,
can go.
interesting. So why didn't you say that?
I forgot.
I forgot. Okay, perfect.
Feels regular.
Yeah.
And the other side. Nice and
Oh.
slow. Then looking up.
There's so much stuff here that I kind of forget some things.
And looking
And
down.
It's very regular for me to have autism, so you don't think about you have those.
Relax.
So we have a
No.
problem in insular cortex.
How are you now?
Insular cortex integrates the
What?
system in your body.
That's good. How's the headache?
Pretty successful.
The headache isn't there. Okay. So you'd say lasers really don't work, do they? So you feel high? Okay. And we didn't stick anything up your nose? Okay. We'll have to try that later. Have a seat. Thank you very much. Thank you. So we could say there was a
Wait,
change.
wait, Robert. He has really important things to say.
Ah,
No,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the bit one.
No?
I don't
What?
know.
Warm and dizzy.
A little bit like
Yeah. So you feel what's happening?
maybe.
Maybe. Still confused.
Yes.
Yeah.
how's the stomach thing?
I think probably better. I totally forgot to measure it now, but I think like 2 or 1 actually. So
Perfect.
I think it's better.
Okay.
Thank
I
you.
don't know if it's placebo. I'm easily confused.
It's totally a placebo and
Yeah,
very
absolutely.
confusing.
Absolutely.
How's the confusion now? How many fingers do you see?
4. I actually see 5, but you raised them 4. Or technically 10.
Technically 10.
More like,
Perfect.
But your name's not Vincent, is it?
my name is Vincent.
Ah, that's all right.
Perfect. Thank you, Vincent. Thank you.
then. So, 2 people, 2 problems, 2 changes. Okay. We could do this all day, but we're not going to because it's boring as hell. But all I want to say to you is, I have yet, as a medical professional, got to see something that we can't affect a change with laser. In Ireland last year, we had a hurricane. And after the hurricane, I went into my garden and I could hear a cat crying from under a hedge. And eventually, when this cat came out, it was a 6-week-old kitten. And slowly, over a number of weeks, we got it to the window and eventually it moved into the house. And that was where the trouble started. Go near the cat, you lost a finger. Try to stroke it, you got a gouge in your hand. Try to feed it, run. So one day I said, right, you little fecker, we're going to sort you out. So he was lying on the couch, asleep, and we got the laser, and for 3 minutes we just went like this across the back of his head, just like we did here. And very quickly, I now have a very placid, very calm cat. I think the thing we have to think about with lasers from a biohacking point of view, this is how we recharge the human. This is how recharge happens. I'm 56 years of age. I suffered with chronic rheumatoid arthritis for a long part of my life. I use lasers twice a week, 3 times a week on myself. I have no pain. I take no medicines. I run 10 kilometers every other day, and I walk an average of 5 in between. So I think really from our point of view, we're only getting to the beginning of what these things are going to do. From a human recharge point of view, we haven't even started yet. So that's all we have to say to you. If there are any questions, I'll happily take them, because this screen has gone red and it explodes in 2 minutes.
Yeah, I think we have time for one or two questions. So what do you think, by the way, about the laser in my nose? I feel amazing.
I think it looks good.
Yeah. Like walking on the street like with this, you will get some attention. If you have your blue light blocking glasses also on, jumping on a trampoline.
I'm just waiting till you start.
Yeah, awesome.
Going up and down
Good.
like this.
So definitely this has brought a completely new clarity to some of my days. And one question, is there a risk for overdose, like doing this too often? Like,
personally, from my research, I think there is enough. Normally, your brain is going to give you a biochemical indicator in anything up to 2 minutes. I would never use a laser on anybody's head brain for more than 2 minutes. The laser we're using there is a 635 nanometer laser. I would never employ that on the brain for longer than 2 minutes. That's my research. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I'm wrong. That's my research. We get biochemical changes at that stage. The body is flooded at that stage. Why do you want to flood it anymore? So we just stop.
I had just had this for 30 minutes.
Uh-oh.
I'm pretty wired.
She used to be blonde, long-haired, and very trim.
Yeah, I'm getting younger every day with light. So thank you very much.
So we have some questions over here.
Yeah, we have one question. One. Yeah, we need the microphone for our live audience.
There was a gentleman here too with his hand up.
We have only one question opportunity.
Is that your laser therapy is improving some age-related biomarkers, for example, inflammation or atherosclerosis or VO2 max or any kind of these age-related biomarkers?
I think what you have to think of with the laser, what the laser is doing is, at your age, you have bucket loads of mitochondria. At his age, with a laser thing stuck up his nose, he's probably got considerably more than you're ever going to have. Sonia at her age has less, and at my age, I have considerably less. What laser does is, through cellular proliferation, it's going to create more mitochondria. In theory, you could say that changes and reverses the aging process. In reality, don't know yet, haven't got there, haven't even thought about it.
The Human Longevity Project, which is a documentary that actually started out as a project to go through the blue spots in the world, the places where people are getting high age and really not getting sick, Alzheimer, dementia, etc. And it actually expanded from being one movie to now today 9 documentaries in a series. And it's actually open, free available until Monday. So Google it, hook up on it, and in the 9th episode, you will actually find Zirconia lasers as one of the ways to actually get into the blue zone for us ordinary people.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you. I've seen the Human Longevity Project. It's great episode. Check it out.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sanna, thank you very much.
Please
Robert.
come by our stand and try it out.
Give a loud applause.
Thank you.